Our shared Google Calendar had a date marked that I didn't recognize. Alright, I don't even know where to start, but I guess I just need to get this out somewhere. It's about my boyfriend, well, maybe ex-boyfriend now, I don't know, Mark, and our Google Calendar. Yeah, the stupid shared calendar we used for everything that we've been together 3 years, living together for 2. The calendar was our command center, dentist appointments, bill due dates, my sister's baby shower, his softball games. Syncing our lives like that felt efficient, modern, you know. Like we were a real team, totally transparent. Until I found IT was maybe 3 weeks ago, a Tuesday night. Mark was already asleep, snoring softly, a sound that usually comforted me. I couldn't sleep, just scrolling Zillow on my laptop, torturing myself with houses we couldn't afford yet. Classic doom scrolling. I clicked over to our calendar to add my sister's gender reveal party date, because apparently, that's a thing now, that I scrolled forward a few weeks into May, and that's when I saw it, nestled between pay rent and mom's birthday, that I just stared at it. Willow Creek Bistro, my brain did that weird buffering thing. Stephanie from his office? No, they're work-friendly, but not dinner-friendly. Samantha. My college roommate. We hadn't talked in months, and Mark barely knew her. Sarah. Okay, that's me, but obviously, I didn't make this entry, and Willow Creek Bistro. I knew the place. It's one of those trendy, overpriced spots downtown with dim lighting and tiny portions that Mark usually makes fun of. Definitely not his scene, he's more of a burger and fries guy. We'd even joked about their pretentious menu once, maybe it was a work thing he forgot to label properly. He's in sales, client dinners happen. But he always put the client or company name. Always. Dinner, Apex Corp or, client meeting, John P. Never, ever just an initial. And he'd always give me a heads up, usually complaining about having to schmooze late. He hadn't mentioned anything about this. A weird little knot formed in my stomach. It's probably nothing, I told myself. He was busy, made a quick entry, forgot to fill in the details. Logical explanation pending. That I clicked on the entry. No other details. Just the time, the initial, the place. It said it was created 2 weeks prior, late on a Sunday night. Okay, that's weird. Why so secretive? Why just S? I started scrolling back through our shared history on the calendar. Months of entries. Pickup dry cleaning. Mike's barbecue. Vacation, flight departs. Everything clear, everything accounted for. Nothing like this single, mysterious letter. The knot in my stomach tightened into a cold fist. Stop it, I ordered myself. You're being paranoid. You're tired. Mark loved me. We were good, right? We talked about getting a dog, maybe moving to a bigger place next year. This was just a glitch. An anomaly in the data. That I shut the laptop, the click echoing in the quiet apartment. I went to bed, sliding in carefully next to Mark. He mumbled something in his sleep and rolled over. His familiar warmth should have been comforting, but suddenly it felt alien. Could he? Could Mark be cheating? The thought felt like swallowing glass. No. Not Mark. He was steady, kind, maybe a little boring sometimes, but solid. He wasn't the cheating type, but who is the cheating type? That insidious little voice whispered back. Isn't it always the ones you least expect? Sleep was a joke that night. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw it. May 17th, 8 p.m., dinner, at Willow Creek Bistro. That felt like it was burning a hole in my brain. The next morning, I tried to play it cool. Made coffee, talked about needing groceries, kissed him goodbye. But I felt like I was watching us from outside my own body. I kept searching his face for something. A flicker of guilt. Nervousness. He just seemed normal, maybe a bit stressed about work. Or was he just a good actor? Anything exciting happening at work this week? I asked, trying to sound casual as I poured milk into my coffee. My hand shook a little. "Ugh, no, just the usual grind," he said, eyes glued to his phone. "Might be late Wednesday, though. Trying to hit that quarterly target. Not May 17th. Not, S. Not Willow Creek Bistro. My heart started pounding. He was actively avoiding mentioning it. That felt intentional. The 2 weeks leading up to May 17th were pure hell. I turned into this amateur detective in my own relationship, and I hated it. I watched him like a hawk. Was he texting more? Angling his phone away from me? Clearing his browser history? Every normal action suddenly felt suspicious. I felt disgusting, invasive, but the doubt was like an itch I couldn't scratch that I rehearsed asking him about it a million times in my head. "Hey Mark, saw that dinner thing on the calendar for the 17th? Who's S?" But I couldn't make myself say it. What if he had a simple explanation and I looked crazy? Or worse, what if he lied? Or even worse, what if he told the truth? Was I ready to hear it? I looked up Willow Creek Bistro again. Photos showed intimate booths, low lighting. Perfect for your next romantic rendezvous, the website chirped. I felt sick that I thought about calling my best friend, Chloe. But saying it out loud, admitting my suspicion, felt like making it real. If I kept it locked inside, maybe, just maybe, it wasn't true. Then, on May 16th, the day before D-Day, Mark came home with flowers. Yellow tulips, my favorite. "Just felt like it," he said, giving me a quick kiss. He seemed relaxed, affectionate. My resolve just crumbled. He wouldn't do this. He wouldn't bring me flowers one day and betray me the next. I was letting my insecurities run wild, poisoning everything. It had to be a mistake, a forgotten client, anything but what I was imagining. I hugged him, burying my face in his chest, trying to absorb his normalcy. "They're beautiful, thank you," I managed to say. That night, I actually slept, clinging to the hope those tulips represented. May 17th arrived. Sunny, ordinary. I went through the motions. Work, emails, pretending the date wasn't looming over me. Mark left with a normal goodbye. Around 1 p.m., my phone buzzed. A text from Mark: "Hey, got caught up in meetings. Might be pretty late tonight. Don't wait up for dinner if I'm not back by 8:30." The cold dread flooded back, icy and absolute. 8:30 p.m. Right after his 8 p.m. dinner with S was supposed to start. It wasn't concrete proof, but it felt like a calculated move. My fragile hope from the tulips disintegrated instantly. They suddenly looked garish and mocking on the kitchen counter. I couldn't stay home. I couldn't just sit there imagining scenarios, waiting for him to come back smelling like perfume and lies. The not knowing was worse than anything. So, at 7:45 p.m., I was in an Uber, my heart pounding like a drum against my ribs, heading downtown. I felt like a total creep, asking the driver to drop me off a block away from Willow Creek Bistro. What was I even doing? Hiding in the bushes? Peeking through the window like some B-movie stalker, the restaurant glowed softly, looking annoyingly charming. Couples were heading inside, laughing. I stood across the street, trying to look inconspicuous behind a large oak tree, feeling like the world's biggest idiot, and then I saw him. Mark got out of a shiny black sedan, definitely not his beat-up Civic. He was wearing the shirt. The expensive blue button-down he saved for special occasions, the one I loved. His hair was perfect. He looked nervous. Kept checking his watch, smoothing the front of his shirt. My breath caught in my throat. He was clearly dressed for an occasion. A moment later, the passenger door opened. A woman got out. She was tall, blonde, wearing a killer black dress. Even from across the street, I could tell she was stunning. She smiled at Mark, a bright, easy smile that seemed way too familiar. It wasn't Stephanie. It wasn't Samantha. It was a complete stranger. It had to be. Mark offered her his arm, and his whole face lit up in this way I hadn't seen in, God, how long. It was a look of pure admiration, maybe even infatuation. They laughed together, heads close, before turning and walking right into Willow Creek Bistro. The ground felt like it dropped out from under me. I couldn't breathe. The image of them, his hand on her arm, her confident smile, the way they looked together, it just burned into my brain. That stupid, cryptic calendar entry wasn't a mistake. It was a bookmark for the exact moment my relationship imploded. I must have stood there under that tree for ages, just numb. The traffic noise, the city lights, everything faded into a dull roar. The only thing that felt real was the crushing weight in my chest. That was 3 nights ago. I came back to the apartment before he did, packed a bag, and went to stay at Chloe's. Mark came home around midnight, probably wondering where I was. He called and texted, but I couldn't answer. He eventually texted asking what was wrong. I just sent him a screenshot of the calendar entry that he called immediately then, frantic. Left voicemails. First denying it, that was a client meeting. It got rescheduled, then getting angry, why were you spying on me, then finally, silence. He texted yesterday morning, we need to talk. I messed up. So, yeah. That's where I am now. Sitting on Chloe's lumpy couch, staring at my phone. Our shared Google Calendar is still open on my laptop screen. The entry for May 17th is still there. Neither of us has deleted it. It just sits there, this bright red flag in the middle of all our cancelled plans and faded routines. Dinner, at Willow Creek Bistro. Proof that the life I thought I had was just shared data. And apparently, I didn't have full access. I honestly have no idea what I'm going to do next. Update 2. Hey everyone. Wow. First off, thank you all so much for the comments and support on my last post. It sounds silly maybe, but reading through your messages while hiding out on Chloe's couch actually made me feel a bit less alone in this whole mess. So, thank you. A lot of you asked for an update, so here it is. It's been just over a week since I saw Mark walk into that restaurant with, things are still really raw, but stuff has happened. After I sent Mark that screenshot of the calendar entry, he basically blew up my phone. Voicemails, texts, the whole 9 yards. Like I mentioned, it went from denial, to anger at me for spying, to finally just admitting he messed up. Real articulate, right? We met up 2 days after D-Day. I couldn't keep staying at Chloe's indefinitely, and honestly, I needed answers, even though I was dreading hearing them. We met at a neutral place, a quiet coffee shop halfway between Chloe's and his apartment now. I guessed that it was awful. Just as gut-wrenching as you'd imagine. He looked terrible, hadn't shaved, dark circles under his eyes. Part of me, the stupid part that still loved him, felt a pang of sympathy. The other, much larger part just felt cold that he didn't try to deny it this time. He admitted everything. Is Sophia. She's a graphic designer his company hired for a big project a few months ago. According to Mark, it started with late nights working together, lunches, then drinks, the usual cliché slippery slope. He swore the dinner I saw was only the 3rd time they'd actually gone out like that, but admitted they'd been texting and flirting constantly for weeks. He said it didn't mean anything, and he was confused and stressed with work. He actually tried to pull the "it just happened" card that I just sat there, stirring my cold coffee, listening to him try to justify tearing my world apart. Didn't mean anything. Planning a secret dinner date at a fancy restaurant, lying about working late, dressing up in his best shirt, that didn't mean anything. I asked him why he put it in our shared calendar, even with just an initial. He mumbled something about being disorganized, needing a reminder, and thinking I wouldn't notice or would assume it was work. He genuinely seemed surprised I'd even scrolled that far ahead or questioned the vague entry. The sheer arrogance of it, or maybe just stupidity. I don't know which is worse. That he cried. Said he loved me, that he'd made the biggest mistake of his life, that he'd do anything to fix it. But hearing the words, they felt hollow. How could he love me and do that? How could he look me in the eyes every morning, sleep next to me every night, talk about our future, all while planning secret dates with someone else? I didn't yell. I didn't cry, not there, anyway, I saved that for later. I just felt empty. I asked him if he'd told Sophia about me. He hesitated, then admitted he hadn't exactly been clear about his relationship status with her. Fantastic. So, yeah. There wasn't really a decision to make, was there? I told him it was over. That the trust was completely gone, and I didn't see any way back from this. He begged, pleaded, but I just couldn't. Every time I looked at him, all I could see was him walking into that restaurant with her, smiling that stupid smile. The practical stuff is messy. We're both on the lease for the apartment until September. He offered to move out, find a subletter for his half. I agreed. I went back to the apartment yesterday with Chloe to pack up most of my essential stuff. Mark made himself scarce, thankfully. Walking into our bedroom, seeing his things next to mine, it was like a physical blow. Packing felt like sorting through wreckage. So now I'm officially living on Chloe's couch. She's been amazing, a total rock star. But it's temporary. I need to find my own place, figure out finances, untangle our lives. It's overwhelming. Mark texted me last night asking if we could talk again. I haven't replied. I don't know what else there is to say. Oh, and the calendar entry. I logged into our shared Google account this morning. May 17th, 8 p.m., dinner, at Willow Creek Bistro. It's still there. Neither of us deleted it. It feels like this ugly digital scar now, marking the end. Maybe I should delete it. Maybe I should delete the whole damn calendar. I feel numb mostly, with waves of blinding anger and just crushing sadness that hit me out of nowhere. I know breaking up was the right thing to do, the only thing I could do. But it still hurts like hell. It's like mourning someone who's still alive, mourning the future I thought we had anyway. That's the update. Still figuring things out day by day. Thanks again for listening, or reading, or whatever. It helps. Really. What do you think? Tell us in the comments. Like the video and hit the subscribe button for more Reddit stories.